Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', lockin', and what is droppin', baby? Welcome everyone back to the channel, to the journey, and most specifically to this video. Now today, we are going to be going over what I eat this week for weight loss. And let me tell you, I got 2 recipes that are going to be really exciting for you guys. And I really hope you guys will try these and tell me how they are, because especially the last thing. Oh my goodness. The last thing was probably something I'm the most hyped for. I'm just like, yeah, baby. So today we're going to be starting off the day with black coffee and hydrating ourselves with some water, because coffee does hydrate. Coffee does dehydrate you. There you go. So, but yeah, so we're actually trying something different this week. So after explaining what I did for the video regarding my 2-month update, we're all going to be introducing 2 meals a day except for 3 meals a day. I think this is be a good introduction to elongate my fast a little bit longer, as well as maybe cut down on calories just a little bit. So we're deciding to cut breakfast, or more so take the breakfast foods and move it towards the lunch. More specifically because I don't really eat breakfast regardless, especially since I've been drinking black coffee. It just makes me not very hungry. I usually don't get hungry or want to eat until like 1 o'clock p.m. anyways. And then of course we have our dinner. So our dinner, we can even go bigger with our dinners now because we are cutting a meal. So we can take the calories from a quote-unquote beginning meal and then put them into a dinner. So in that instance, we're actually going to be doing a lunch, breakfast, lunch, brunch, I guess, I don't know, and then a dinner plus a dessert. So I'm pretty excited to show you guys what I eat throughout the day. Now, I did make the dinner slash dessert earlier this week because I'm filming this now, which is Thursday. So I'm actually going to be eating right after the gym because I'm going to be leaving work pretty early today and then going to the gym at, like 1 p.m. while it's like, hopefully when it's dead and everyone's working, and then coming back, and then we'll enjoy la breakfast. Now, when I'm not working out, I usually cut my breakfast down a little bit, but because we're after the gym, we're gonna have to increase our protein just a little bit more. So we're gonna be incorporating a little bit more into our breakfast than what I usually do without working out. So, but without further ado, ladies and gentlemen of D2 World, let's get this party started. See you guys on my first meal. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, we just came back from a great pool day. Now let's go ahead and get into the first meal of the day. Now, I've kind of filmed already for my short, but we got 3 hard-boiled eggs, and we're only eating the whites. 2 of the eggs, and 1 of the eggs we're eating the yolks. So, what do I do with this? Give it to my boy. With that, we got some turkey sausage links. We have 6 of them, but I already had 1 of them. So the Butterball brand ones, these are pretty good. I like them. Just pop in the microwave for like 2 minutes and you'd be golden. Half the package. So something new, we actually have these Chobani yogurt drinks. So you have to shake the everlasting Jesus out of this thing, because otherwise they are super thick and you would not be able to drink it. So these are actually pretty good though. Mango, strawberry. This is vanilla ice cream flavored. What they are, they're pretty good. 30 grams of protein with 220 calories. So I'll go ahead and throw up the macros for this wonderful breakfast, and let's go ahead and cook our dinner and dessert. After I show the breakfast portion, I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my high protein, low-ish calorie chicken mac and cheese. Let's go ahead and get this party started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this pot and we're going to fill it up with water, salt water if you want extra flavor, and we're going to be boiling our pasta. Now the pasta of choice that we're doing is something called this. This is Goodle protein gluten-free pasta. So there's 40 grams of protein in this, but you get yourself a good branded protein pasta, you should be pretty good to go. You can also use normal pasta, just remember the protein's not really there. And for all my gluten intolerant and celiac individuals out there, gluten-free is the way to go. So just follow the instructions on the box, boil your water, and you're pretty much good to go after that. So we're gonna show that kind of that process going, and then we're gonna be making our mac and cheese sauce. Pretty much just get yourself some salt. You put a pretty hefty load in there, as salt, water flavors your pasta. I got some clumps in there. And then get some water, kind of fill her up. Again, just look at the box and follow the instructions from the box, and you should get a pretty good amount of salt needed for water. So we're just filling her up right now. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, so that's why the water looks pretty pinkish right now. Go ahead, put her over there. One burner. Crack the guy up to high. By the way, preheat your oven to 375. I keep forgetting to mention to preheat the oven in most of my videos. So make sure you preheat your oven to 375 for this mac and cheese recipe. And the problem of having a white range is everything shows. So I gotta consistently clean this guy, and it gets so annoying. So we're gonna let the water boil, and then we'll come back, and then we'll be making the sauce. So you're gonna get yourself a blender, and we're gonna need a couple things. So first, we're gonna need some fat-free cottage cheese. You can do small curd, big curd, does not matter. Just make sure it's fat-free to get your best calorie results. One thing I hate more than anything is blending cottage cheese. It is such a pain to clean up. But we're gonna go ahead and dump our cottage cheese into the blender. So I'm also making 6 servings. So for the sauce, you're just gonna need 1.8 pounds, 24 ounces, or 680 grams of fat-free cottage cheese. Next thing we're adding is some reduced fat ricotta cheese. So we're gonna open this guy. Ricotta cheese is a little bit more difficult to get out of the container, so just be cautious about that. Sometimes you can just kind of plop in, but you have to like squeeze it and it'll just kind of fall in. Actually, that was a lot easier than I thought. It's like completely clean too. I take back what I said. And then the next thing is I have fat-free, lactose-free milk because it's got the best calories, 90 to 80. If you have the Fairlife fat-free milk, that'd be a great option as well. Also, for the ricotta cheese, we have 15 ounces or 425 grams. So for the lactose milk, we're not going to add too much because we don't want it too thick. So we're just going to add, I'd say, half a cup of milk for now. And then if it's too thin, then we can obviously put more in there. Now for seasonings, For seasonings, I have the blend, which is salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So we're probably just going to put the rest of this in here, honestly. So all seasonings are going to be for taste. I like seasoning, so I'm going to put a lot in here. Next, I have onion powder. We're just going to put as much as our heart's desire. Next, I have smoked paprika. We're going to put as much as our heart's desire. And the last, and probably the secret ingredient to a good mac and cheese, is nutmeg. So we're not going to add too much nutmeg in here, but just enough to give it some nice flavoring. And then, basically you're going to do, get yourself a spatula, and then you want to kind of mix everything together, like so. Get that ricotta cheese deep down in there. Although you will lose some of your flavoring, but that's okay. And any of the excess cheese, just kind of scrape off on the spatula. When you blend this guy, just don't blend it for too long, because we still want the sauce pretty creamy. Just, if you blend it for too long, for too much, then it'll get really runny. So I'll do like a low blend for a couple seconds maybe. That's about 15 seconds. Take it out. You'll get some nice liquid action in there. Go ahead and give your sauce a try. it'll be thick because it'll stick to the spatula. That's exactly what we want. So go ahead and give this guy a taste real quick. And you think it's good, then we're good to go. It's got a pretty good flavor to it. But again, we're gonna add more cheese to this, so do not worry about a cheesy mac and cheese kind of taste to it, because we will be incorporating more cheese to this dish, believe it or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this blender cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and add our pasta to our water. All right, now we're gonna add our pasta to our water. Again, follow the instructions. You can wait till it fully boils, but to me, it doesn't really matter too much. The thing with gluten-free pasta is, especially if it's made with certain stuff, like, I mean, this is made with brown rice, chickpea, yellow pea, so it's not too bad, but a lot of times you have to, like, almost undercook your pasta for the gluten-free ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world like myself, so just be cautious about that. But, yeah. And then, get yourself a spoon and just kind of put it all in here. So the total pasta that I have, it's 8 ounces or 227 grams per box. So multiply that by 3, and then I got 6 servings of this guy. So we're gonna kind of let that boil some. This shouldn't take that long either. I don't think it takes that long, but do follow your instructions on the box. This pasta cooked insanely quick. So this was like 6-7 minutes. So once you're done with your pasta, let's go ahead and strain it. Ooh, it's hot. All right, we're gonna strain the pasta now. Just like that. Nice, steamy, empty pot. I don't know if I can pick that up, but yeah, let's move on to the next steps. All right, so our next steps, and I do apologize if you hear the dishwasher in the background. I actually need to wash some dishes in here, but we're gonna go ahead and add our stuff in. So go ahead and add your pasta to a large mixing bowl, like so. And then I have 15 ounces of pulled rotisserie chicken we're gonna put in here. And then I have 2 bags of 7 ounces or 14 ounces of fat-free cheddar cheese. We're gonna go ahead and put it here like so. I am making a mess. So we're gonna go ahead and add all of that in here. And finally, we're gonna add our delicious sauce. Right on top like so. I want as much sauce as possible. If you think the sauce is a little too thick, you can add a little bit more milk, or if it's too thin, then you just need to add some of the cheddar cheese into this, and it'll thicken it up a little bit. All right, once we got this guy done, we'll go ahead and start attempting to mix everything. This is a lot, so just be a little FYI on that. This is a lot to mix around. Oh, before it gets everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this guy around. Okay, so ideally you want something like this. By the way, this weighs a ton. So we got everything pretty good mixed in, so we're gonna incorporate all of this into each of these pans. And if there's more, then I have other pans I can use. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of evenly distribute the mixture between the 3 pans. Then once I get that all going, I'll come back on the next step. All right, you got your mac and cheese all panned out, so we're just gonna compress it. Make sure you get it thinly down as possible, so it gets you a nice, even bake throughout, because this is a baked mac and cheese recipe. Squish and spread like that. Wait, these are not 1 serving, so a serving will be actually half of these. So again, 6 total, but we're just kind of cutting in half. So, but once your mac and cheese is flattened like so, go ahead and put them in the oven. Alrighty, so we got our oven ready. It's almost a perfect fit. Put that guy in there, and put this guy in here. like so. And then we're gonna let this bake for about 30-ish minutes. So I'll catch you guys when this is done baking. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, we have done with the anabolic mac and cheese. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Are you kidding me right now? This looks absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness. This looks so good. I gotta show you guys what this looks like, man. Look at this, dude. Look at this. Holy sweet mother of Lord, this looks so good, man. So let's go ahead and set her up over there, and then I'll talk a little bit more what's on the next steps. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, the mac and cheese is completely done, and I cannot wait to indulge into this. Unfortunately, it's gonna have to be tomorrow because I am currently on OMAD, and I just finished my meal for today. So we're gonna enjoy this tomorrow. But like I said before, half of this is gonna be split into two, so one half is one serving. So I just put everything in the macro app, so we're gonna kind of do everything together. But we will make sure to try this beautiful, beautiful dish tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually foil these guys up, put them in the fridge, and then I'll be back after we make our dessert, and then we'll try both. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, we are making dessert for the first time on this channel. Now, I'm not a baker. I'm not very great at dessert making, but we're gonna go ahead and give this a shot. So first we're gonna make our topping. So I have this Catalina Crunch. It's a fruity cereal. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy and we're just gonna blend her up. So we're just gonna pour the whole container in here. And then we'll reuse the bag for putting the powder in there. So go ahead and, I think this might be better off with a food processor if you have one, but I think blending it worked just as fine. So we're just gonna pulse this guy for a little bit. Basically, that's all we need. We're just making crumbs. So we're gonna take this guy out. Empty that guy. And then we're gonna pour our dusting back in our bag. Just like that. And then we have our cereal topping. This is actually really good, by the way. For what it is, that's pretty good. So next, we're gonna make our filling. Great value cherry pie filling. This is no sugar added. It's 35 calories per serving. So we're not making big pies. We're actually making like little personal ones. So we're just gonna take our pie filling, dump her in here like so. So to add a little protein to our dish, I'm gonna add a protein powder. This is just marshmallow flavored, but you can use whatever powder your heart desires. So we're gonna do 1 scoop. We're just gonna do 1 scoop because we don't really need like that much in here. To thin it out a little bit, I'm gonna add a little bit of milk. So we're gonna do maybe 1/4 cup of milk, just to kind of thin it out some. But that was fat-free, lactose-free milk. If you have, what do you call it? Fairlife milk, that'll work just as good. And then basically what we're gonna do is we're just going to puree it. And then we'll have some powder over here. So if you take a spatula, you can kind of just push some of that powder in there, the protein powder, on low. I think it adds a really good touch to it. Another scoop of protein powder. Again, we're kind of learning as we go here, so. Each serving should be 1/3 scoop. Emulsify it even more, then you can add lemon juice in here. So the lemon juice will actually add a bit of a citrusy taste to it. It'll really enhance that cherry flavoring, cherry lemon. I think for lemon juice, I'd add like, I don't know, 1/8 cup. Get everything incorporated in there too. And I'll show kind of what the inside looks like a little bit. And that is our cherry pie filling. So we're gonna set this guy off to the side, and then we're gonna make our pie crust. Okay, so next we're gonna do is we're gonna make our pie crust. So you're gonna need a mixing bowl, and then I have some oat flour. Oat flour I think is best for calorie per whatever. So again, we're just gonna put a handful in here, and then I think what we'll do is we'll measure the whole thing, and I'll figure out all the serving sizes at the end. And next I have some ground flax seed. Go ahead and put this guy in here for our fiber and fat content. Healthy fats. And then I have a zero sugar sweetener. This is brown sugar. I think it'll go well with the oats and everything. So we're gonna add a bunch of that guy in there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a fork, break up the brown sugar, the oat flour, and everything. So we're just gonna mix everything around like this. So once you get everything pretty incorporated, the next step, actually there's one thing I forgot. Add a little bit of salt to this as well. Like that. So once you got everything mixed around, the next step, we're actually gonna be adding a little bit of oil. So we're gonna add some oil in here. This is grapeseed oil. So the point of this is to add the oil in here and stir it around. And then you want it to get it crumbly. So we gotta mix really well in here. And then once everything starts looking crumbly, and then we'll start adding a little bit of water to it. And then it should start forming into a dough. So you could use butter, melted butter, if you want a little extra flavoring. But we want to use any type of oil, like grapeseed or olive oil, will work really well for this. So again, we're just gonna keep adding some oil until we get a bunch of clumpy dough. Pretty close to dough consistency, what we're looking for. So the next thing it's said to do is to actually add some water. And then it'll start to kind of form into a dough. Which it is now, actually. So, although, to be honest, I don't know if this is going to be enough for what we're looking for, but we will find out. All right, let's move on to the next steps. So this is about the consistency that you want right here. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a chunk of this guy up and place the chunks in each pockets. And then you're going to see what you're going to do is you're going to pat it down and pat, if it'll stay. Pat it against the edge like that. You need a little bit more for the bottom. Just put some down on the bottom and pat down like this. Kind of mix everything together. Like so. But when you make your cupcake pans, this is a silicone one, so it'll just essentially just pop out. But you want your pocket to look like that, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the rest of these pockets out, and I'll get back to you guys on the next steps. Element of the YouTube world, here is how the pies came out. They're looking great. So when you scoop them to the side, or weird formation, but whatever. So if you spray a little oil or like avocado oil spray or something, put it on your fingers and you can wipe it on the sides. It'll actually help with not sticking to your fingers. And then what I do is I'll put a clump in there and push it to the side, and then I'll add more clump to the bottom to kind of create its bottom portion of it. So, but we're actually going to cook the pie crust first. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy in the oven real quick. This oven is at 375 as well. So if you haven't already, make sure you preheat your oven to 375. And we're going to let this bake for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the crust gets hardened. All right, so our crusts are done for our mini pies. Ignore this, I'm eating dinner. Well, I'm getting these done, so cutting a little bit forward. But as you can see here, we have our completed crust like that. We're gonna go ahead and set to the side. And actually, the next step we're gonna do is, because these are gonna be like scorching hot, and we need to let them harden a little bit. So right after the oven we're going to put them in the freezer. And we're going to put them in the freezer for about an hour or so, just to kind of cool off the crust. And once that is done, then we could put everything and combine everything together. And they'll be ready to taste test dessert. So, catch you guys then. Let me tell you why I love these silicone trays. Because you can just pop right out and the crust comes out spiffy clean, man. Let's get these guys filled up. So, what we're going to do is take our pie filling and you're going to pour it until it fills up the crevice like that. Crevice gap, I don't know what you would call these. So we're just going to pour like that. Pour like that. Just look at that, man. Oh, this might be a little overfilled. And then last one, just like that. Now, we do have a lot of leftover filling, I will admit. So, one thing you could do is take this filling, lay it on a baking tray, spread it out, put it in the freezer, and you'll have a nice low-calorie sweet snack to enjoy. Now, because I'm only going to be eating one of these, I'm going to pop one of them out, decorate it, and then eat it. But the rest of them, you could put it in the fridge, use plastic wrap to kind of keep everything nice and fresh. We want to get a little fun with this guy, right? So I'm going to take some of the cereal, and we're just going to top it off on the top of the pie, like so. Just a little bit, just a pinch full. And then we're going to get really crazy. I got fat-free Cool Whip, or Real Ready Whip, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And then we're just going to top just like that. And then we're going to take another pinchful of our cereal, and we're just going to coat the top just like that. And bon appetit. We got ourselves our pie. Let's go ahead and dive into this deliciousness. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, we have completely finished our mac and cheese. And oh my goodness, does this look phenomenal. You're washing it down with a Diet Pepsi, caffeine free. And to top it off, Taste Flavor Co.'s Blue Buffalo cheese sauce. Did I really just get it on the wall? So, I'm just gonna squirt a little bit on here, like so. There you go. Now, I did the macros for this, and I think you guys are gonna be in for a treat. So, I'd say let's go in for our first bite, like that. As they say en français, bon appétit. Wow, this is really good. Even without this. So we'll get some without the sauce. It's still really good for high protein, low-ish calories. Now, by the way, this harder than is a serving. Do not forget that. So, if you're looking for even lower calories, just cut this in half. And you'll be golden, man. My God, this is so good. You could add extra cheddar on top. Parmesan cheese will go really good with this. This is just, oh my God, this is crazy. So, we're going to go ahead and finish this guy up. Get back with you guys when we go over the macros. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, let's go ahead and try this pie. The crust comes off fairly easily. It is still a bit warm though. I do recommend eating this cold, but we are destroying this thing. Jeez. Okay, well, here we go. Our first bite. That is so good. Oh my God. Wow. Now this thing cold is going to be a lot better, but this pie is absolutely delicious, man. Oh my God. I can't stop eating it. Oh. Just wait until you see the macros on this thing, too. Oh. I'll catch you guys then. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's What I Eat in a Week every single day to lose weight and to progress in my fitness journey. If you guys are enjoying the content and enjoying the recipes, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, especially the ones who want to start their own journey. Like and comment anything positive or negative. We're on the internet, so we got to learn to take it. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, let's go over the grand total macros for every day for this week. So we are at 1,905 calories with 193 grams of protein, 166 grams of carbs, and 49 grams of fat, with 16 grams of fiber, 39 grams of sugar, and 2,700 milligrams of sodium. But that'd be it for me, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. Make sure to tune in for more adventures with the return of the fitness journey. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and I'll catch you guys on whatever I upload next. Yeah!